Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about the S Pen new functions. So S Pen now has two different components. The first component is writing, sketching, air command, and all that good stuff. And the second component is the fact that you can use the S Pen and the button right over here as a remote control to use and control certain apps on your smartphone. So that remote control functionality is the Bluetooth functionality, and that is separate from everything else you can do on the actual Note 9 with the S Pen. So let me just clarify this. If I go into the Samsung Notes, and if I create a new note, and if I write something down, this has nothing to do with the Bluetooth functionality of the actual S Pen, and the S Pen does not need to get charged to perform writing or sketching. Additionally, if I just want to navigate my phone using the S Pen, again, it does not need to be charged. And also, if I use the air command menu of my smartphone, which is this guy, I do not need to charge the S Pen. I do not need to use the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen. Okay? But if I want to actually use the S Pen as a remote control, then the S Pen needs to be charged. Now, how does it get charged? You simply put it back here into its case, and boom, within seconds, it goes to 100% charge, and after it is charged, it can be used for a good amount of time. Now let me show you the settings. Let's go to the settings. Let's go to advanced features. Let's go to the S Pen features. And the only features that pertain to the S Pen's Bluetooth functionality are these guys right over here. So for example, if I press and hold the button over here, it's going to open the camera. So let me show you that. Press and hold. Boom, the camera launches. That was the Bluetooth remote functionality. Also, I can tap on this one, and I can actually change what that holding of the button over here does. So just to give you an example, let's just choose a create note. Now if I press and hold, it's going to bring up the S note, and I can start to take a note. Okay, and I can then save it. So this option over here is the first customization option. From here, if you hold down the pen button, it is going to launch any app that you desire, any one of these apps over here. Okay, I do like the camera option, so let's just keep it at the camera. And with every single app, you have two options. For example, let's just take a look at the camera over here. It says single press takes a picture, and double press switches the camera. So let me show you exactly how all of this is going to work together. If I press and hold, it's going to launch the camera. If I press it one time, it takes a photo remotely, so I can actually go away, walk away from the actual Note 9 with my S Pen and press a button, this button, from a distance, and it's going to take a photo. Now if I double tap this button, it actually switches over to the actual selfie camera, as you can see right here. If I double tap it again, it's going to flip over to the other, the rear facing camera. So those are the settings you can modify from here. So here what I can do is I can tap on this. At a single press, I can take a picture, switch camera, record a video, or do absolutely nothing. So I can disable all these options. I do like take picture option. If I double press, I have the options, the same options. I can take a picture, switch the camera, or record a video. So if I tap on this, now let's press and hold the S Pen, brings up the camera. One press takes a photo. Okay, there we go. One press took a photo. If I double tap, it's going to start to record an actual video, as you can see. All right, so that's how you modify S Pen's remote functionality, also known as the Bluetooth functionality. And if you scroll down, you've got the gallery. You've got the same things. You can single press to go to the next item, or double press to go to the previous item. Now let's take a look at that and how it works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my gallery over here. I'm going to just go to one of the albums. Let's just tap on this picture. So basically what I can do is if I just single tap it, it's going to go to the next picture. So single tap, boom, next item, single tap, boom, next item, single tap, boom, next item. And if I double tap, it goes back. Okay, double tap, it goes back. And again, if I go into the actual settings, by the way, I can always go to the settings by bringing up the air command. If I tap, if I click on settings, I can go back into the S Pen remote settings from here. So if I'm here, again, I can change what I can do. I can do nothing, next, previous. next, previous, do nothing. And I can also batch disable each one of these options. So if I do this, now the camera is not going to work with the S Pen remote anymore. Now as I use the S Pen, you'll notice the battery is going down. So the battery goes down pretty quickly. It can last 15 minutes to 30 minutes. It also is based on how many times you tap on it. So every time you tap on this button, it takes away battery. But the good news is, as soon as you put this back into the case here, within 15 seconds it charges again for many more taps, clicks of the button. So it's not a big deal because we keep putting our S Pen back in the case all the time. And again, over here we have the shutter. So if I just tap this one time, it takes a picture. Let me tap again or do nothing. I can control my media. I can play pause using this on the music application. So if I tap this, I can play pause, I can skip to the next track, or I can do nothing. And same over here, I can modify this as well. So it's very simple. You pull out the S Pen and then you press and hold, and the pressing and holding function you set from here. So if I press and hold, it opens the camera right now. But like I said, you can pick any one of these apps. And then for each application that is supported for the S Pen remote, and you're going to have more and more of these apps show up over here, you can do two things. You can do a single press and a double press. All right? So that's absolutely fantastic. With the Chrome, if I enable Chrome, I can do a single press and it goes back. I can do a double press, it goes forward. Let me give you an example for that as well. Let's go to the Chrome over here. Now I am at google.com. Let me go into the Google Drive website. Let's click on this. So now I went forward into the Google Drive website. What I can do with the S Pen is if I single tap it, it's going to go back. If I double tap it, it's going to go forward. Okay, so that's how this one works. And also, while I'm using an application that is enabled to be used with the S Pen's remote functionality, I can hover over the air command icon here, and it does actually give me a quick preview of what the single press and the double press does. So single press back, it says, and double press forward. So that's what it is going to do when Chrome is actually enabled. Now if I tap on this one more time, the same thing is going to show at the bottom here. Okay, single press is back, double press is forward, and these are the S Pen actions for Chrome. The software knows exactly where you are. So if I go to the camera and I hover over this icon, okay, oops, I pressed it by mistake, but if I hover over it, you'll see the same thing. Single press, take a picture, double press, record a video, and if I tap on this button, you get the same options at the bottom. Okay, if I tap on it, same options at the bottom here. You can also modify them right from here. So I can modify it right from here if I so desire. The other thing is if I were to go outside to a regular non-S Pen remote area, and if I hover, it's not going to show that. Okay, so these options, now let me go back to Chrome, only show up when the S Pen remote can be used with the app that is running in the background. Okay, so another thing to be aware of. With the Handcom Office Editor, it's the same thing. If you're doing a presentation, you can go forward or backwards. So that is the S Pen remote functionality. Now there's a little bit more to this. One thing again I want to clarify is the S Pen remote has nothing to do with the rest of the S Pen functions such as sketching, writing, or even this air command menu right over here that is very popular. And when you go into the S Pen remote, this battery percentage only pertains to the S Pen remote functions. Do not forget that. And of course, if you go to your quick toggles over here, you're going to see some options regarding the S Pen. One thing I want you guys to notice is the Bluetooth is disabled, and that's not a big deal because the S Pen remote Bluetooth functionality has its own little button right over here. If you disable this, now the S Pen remote is turned off. Now the S Pen is going to operate as if you have a Galaxy Note 8 without their Bluetooth functionalities. But I can always tap on this and it re-enables the S Pen remote. Okay. By the way, if you press and hold this, it goes directly into the S Pen remote options that we have seen earlier. And as you can see, it's saying disconnected. Every time you disable the S Pen remote option, it disconnects the S Pen. Now, even as the S Pen is disconnected, notice I can still use the air command, and I can still create a note, and I can still write, no problem. The only thing that has been disconnected is the actual remote functionality. If I put this back into the case, which I'm going to do right now, you'll notice that it's going to reconnect immediately. So it says connecting, available. Now when I remove this, S Pen functionality is going to be re-enabled. So that was the other thing over here. Remember, Bluetooth does not have to be enabled for this to work. Only this option has to be enabled. And of course, what you can do is you can tap on the button order. And then what you can do is you can take this S Pen remote and you can put it on the first screen next to Bluetooth maybe for easy access. All right, so click done. And now it's going to be quickly available right over here. It's the Note 9, so we do use the S Pen a lot. So it's good to have the options available for quick access. Now, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns about the S Pen's remote/Bluetooth functionality, drop your questions down below. And of course, subscribe to SAKITECH for more videos to come. And I will see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.